All right, folks. Welcome to TimberTracks mobile time app. We just released this a week or so ago, and we wanted to make sure that we had a video that was ready to go to help you and your employees onboard. So, welcome. All right, so this is the landing page once you've downloaded the app. And you can see here that our contact information is here. If there happen to be any technical issues, feel free to reach out to either of those email addresses, so support@timbertracks.ca or sales@timbertracks.ca. So let's get started. I've gone ahead and logged into my account here. What you didn't see is there's a login page after the Let's Get Started button. And you just enter your email address, the email address that was provided to your employer at the time of registration for TimberTracks, as well as the password that was sent to you in your email confirmation. You may or may not have changed that password, so go ahead and use the new password that you created. Once you've logged in, it'll take you to this dashboard screen that you see here. You can see that there's a number of different sections, or you may not see this yet because you don't have any in here, but we'll be populating this soon enough. So if you look through there, the sections are called My Open Time Cards, My Submitted Time Cards, and My Approved Time Cards. Any approved time cards will be shown in green writing at the bottom there. Submitted time cards will show as yellow. Those are ones that are awaiting supervisor approval. And then my open time cards are in black, and those are the ones that you have saved but have not yet submitted, maybe because they're incomplete or you needed to clarify something. You can see this one in red up at the top here. That's one that was submitted but was rejected by the supervisor, and we'll get into some more detail about that later. So to create a new time card, click the Add Time Card button at the top here. Perfect. So it'll take you to this screen. What you need to do here is start from the top and fill in all the fields. So we're going to start with selecting the project or block I was working on, and we'll say it was Old Loop Road 22. Okay. The blocks, the active blocks that your employer has on the go should all show up in the project list here, so select the appropriate one. Next, I'm picking the date, so this was for yesterday, July 5th, and enter your start time. So I started early, 6 a.m. Make sure that when you're selecting your time, you're clicking set and not close, because if you click close, you'll see that the number or the time doesn't stay. So we'll do that again, click set, perfect. One thing you'll also notice is that based on the start and end time that you entered, the total hours will be automatically calculated for you. Just gives you an idea of where you're at. Next here is position, so that's what you did. Yesterday I was a buncher operator. So I'll enter that here. Next, who my supervisor was. So in this case, I only have one option. You may have more, depending on, again, your employer's setup. So pick the right one. Next, you'll see this no time entry section. So that just means that we haven't entered what we did yet. So, okay, you can see another page with some empty fields. So phase. Phase is a field that represents what you did that day. So, for example, falling, skidding, loading, those are all phases. If we click on the field, it'll bring up a whole bunch of options for you. But since we said I was a buncher, I'm going to pick bunching. Next, you pick the equipment that you're working on. So I was working on this John Deere here. Easy as that. Production. So the next 5 sections here, these are actually representative of the time that you spent during the day on different types of activities. So bunching on this day, we said that I had a 12-hour day total. So that day I did 6 hours of productive bunching. So production is just time you were actually running the machine and bunching logs in this case. So service would be if your normal daily service, refueling, oil changes, things like that. And I'll say that I did half an hour of that. Maintenance would be if you broke down. Productive downtime would be things like processor operator having to get out and do their quality checks on their piles. In this case, I didn't have that. General is just other. So anything out of the ordinary possibly could go in there. So I'm going to click Save. And then we see that I've only accounted for 6.5 hours, so I'm going to add another phase. So once I was done bunching, we finished up for the day. So I decided to jump on a machine and help deck. So I click decking as my phase, and then I find my log loader. And wait, where is it? Log loader at this one here. And then I was loading for 4 hours, and I did a half hour of service and save. Okay, so you can see we're at 11 hours, so that's good. Last but not least, we need to account for our travel to the block. So there's a phase for crew travel, so I'm selecting crew travel here and picking my vehicle, which was this pickup truck. And because the phase is crew travel, then we would assume that it's productive time when you're actually driving to and from the block. So we'll put in an hour. Perfect. So 12 hours here, 12 hours there, we're in good shape. Okay, last thing before we submit is click on this no comment button. And actually we want to put a comment on there, and there's a number of different fields you can pick. So you can pick a general comment, why did you spend half an hour on service? Or safety concerns, conditions affecting production, maybe it was really muddy, you're getting stuck a lot, or equipment impairments, maybe one of your belts broke, so you had to replace it. Okay, I'm going to put in a safety concern, and I'm going to say bear in the block, just to let the guys tomorrow know that there may be a bear milling around. Click Save. There we go. That'll appear to your supervisor, and that looks good. So one thing I will advise you of now is if you click Submit, you won't be able to go back in and make any changes. So if it's incomplete or maybe you missed something, this will lock it and send it directly to your supervisor. So you'll have to save first and then go back into it and review it again for completion. If you're happy with it, which I am, we're going to click Submit. And you can see that now here, your July 5th time card for Old Loop 22 kilometer has been submitted to your supervisor. Great. All right, so last but not least, I wanted to go back into this rejected time card section. So this was our time card from the 4th of July. And you can see that the comment by my supervisor says that, oh, I accidentally put in the wrong block. I was actually working on this Hogsback Road block that day. So I'm going to change that, save it, and then I'm going to go back in, make sure I made the right changes, and I'm going to submit. So you can see again here that my July 4th Hogsback Road time card was submitted, and it's just waiting for supervisor approval. All right, so hopefully this video was helpful, instructional and educational for you. If you do have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out, either contact your employer or reach out to us directly at support@timbertracks.ca. Thank you very much.